This is absolutely true of the Hebrew Bible.
Dan, for being a scholar of the Bible, you sure are really handicapping yourself.
All right, let's see it.
Then again, you really don't take the scholarly approach, like, ever, really, when it comes to Scripture.
Why do I get the sense that when you say scholarly approach, what you mean is dogmatic approach?
There is a super easy answer to the question in the video that you posted, and here it is. The claim in the video was that saying if a man lusts after any woman in his heart, he commits adultery is a mistranslation. You can simply look at the word and you can see universally a woman of any age, whether a virgin or married or a widow, and that would immediately disprove his point.
Well, no, it wouldn't. You see, when you first gestured at Thayer's lexicon, first published in 1889, by the way, what is your finger pointing at? It's entry number 2 in this lexical entry. And what does it read? It reads wife. Now, you're going to give preference to entry number 1, and you don't have any idea why. Now, this lexicon doesn't list Matthew 5:28 and doesn't suggest which sense it thinks is intended in that usage. But better and more recent lexicons, like BDAG for instance, have a lot more information in the entry, and while they also list the sense of wife as sense number 2, they actually do explicitly list Matthew 5:28 as an occurrence of that specific usage. So no, just pointing to a lexicon does not prove the point wrong. That is why I had to go on and talk about the context and why the context suggests that what is intended here is just a woman in general rather than a wife.
But no, you can't do that because you consistently take the position that weakens the Bible.
No, I take the position that I believe is best supported by the data, irrespective of whether or not it strengthens or weakens the Bible according to somebody's subjective and dogmatic opinion.
By saying that it is said in the Hebrew Scriptures that women are property and that their value is in their sexuality and that they use that to exploit. Why do you do this, Dan?
It's what the data indicate.
You realize you lead a lot of people away from God, right?
You realize that my rhetorical goals on this channel, as I have repeatedly, consistently, explicitly, and emphatically clarified, have absolutely nothing whatsoever to do with God, right?
Let me show you a response to yours that doesn't disrespect the Hebrew Bible.
You mean your dogmas about the Hebrew Bible. I'm not disrespecting the Hebrew Bible. I'm allowing the Hebrew Bible to operate on its own terms. You are demanding the Hebrew Bible bend to your dogmas.
What you can easily see when you look at the Hebrew Bible is that the majority of Israel's enemies throughout the history of the Hebrew Bible came from some form of a sexual sin.
No, there are just lots of pejorative folk ideologies that are intended to deride and mock other people groups. Those are not the actual origins of those people groups.
We see here with Noah and his son Ham. I am not one of those people to say that Ham did something to his father. I don't see that supported in the text. But there is certainly a disgracing here where instead of covering his father himself, he decides to just go tell his brothers.
So if you don't believe this story is about sexual sin, then this story has no bearing on your claim that a bunch of people groups originated in sexual sin. But if you'd like the details on what's actually going on with this story in Genesis 9, I've got a quite detailed YouTube video that explains what the data indicate most likely happened in that tent and also discusses the textual instability of this story. So you can check that out if you'd like.
I don't know why you do this, though.
I really don't understand how you can watch any of my videos and not know why I do this when the answer has been right in front of you the entire time.
I don't know why your approach always has to be taking the position that weakens Scripture, when you could have just as easily gone to the word in that passage and said, boom. No, Jesus is saying, if you look at any woman.
The answer is really quite simple. In fact, you might call it a motto of mine. I put data over dogma. And the fit for this video has been Miles Morales.